One thing that gives me a sense of nostalgia and anemoia is the VHS format. Being a 2004 baby, DVDs were well into their reign when I became conscious, with the year 2000's PlayStation 2 having DVD playback ability. I once had a SpongeBob VCR TV that my grandma got for me at a garage sale when I was a child that I wish I had, but it stopped working, so we got rid of it. I have a few VHS tapes from when I was a kid, and it's always fun to look back at them. The fun colors of the VHS tapes are awesome, like how Nickelodeon tapes are orange, for example. Home video tapes are always fun to see, and our favorite shows were even put onto VHS for us to own. We aren't looking at good old Sponge Buddies today because you can watch both Nautical Nonsense and Sponge Buddies episodes on the SpongeBob DVD called Nautical Nonsense and Sponge Buddies. We aren't looking at anything mainstream today. No. Sure, cars on VHS can sell for a small fortune, but basically everyone knows about cars, so let's look at some obscure oddities in the VHS world. With that being said, let's look at some obscure VHS releases. Okay, so let's first talk about some once lost media. Our story starts with a July 2024 forum thread about a frog called Jumper. Jumper was a VHS about a frog puppet character that was controlled by a human, similar to Sesame Street. The author said he believed it was direct-to-home video and he didn't think it aired on TV as they got the tape secondhand in the 1990s from the Bay Area. Remember this, it will be important. A huge lost media search ensues, and a show similar is found called Echo U in Simon 2, which was created by San Jose-based Centerpoint Distribution. This is obscure enough in itself, but Echo led to Jumper being found. Lost media titan L Supersonic Q found an Echo listing in the Bay Area for Echo, and he found that it was a person from the production crew for Jumper. He had a tape, and he sold it to LSSQ, and he ripped the tape for everyone to see.
Hi there! My name is Simon, and this is my very good friend Jumper. We've got a lot of fun things to do, so come on, join Jumper and me, and watch very carefully.
This falls into the educational tape realm with shenanigans such as Monsters Are Make-Believe, singing Simon skits, and the iconic food rap.
We need food to make our bodies grow, food to make our bodies go. Peas and carrots, beans and bread, strawberries and cherries all covered in red.
Educational VHSs in general are the best. You never know what you'll get. You may get 1995 Smokey the Rapper from the New Jersey Division of Fire Safety. You may get an IKEA kitchen installation video because why not? Or you may even get some unknown Asian sing-along cartoon. I personally have great memories of seeing Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue, an anti-drug PSA from the War on Drugs time in America. This was screened at my elementary school during Drug-Free Week multiple times, even though most of the Cartoon All-Stars were unknown to us.
Old saying, if everyone was jumping off a cliff, would you go too?
The educational videos are awesome, but what if you want to get buff? Well then, those workout VHS that you may see at thrift stores and garage sales may be up your alley then. Richard Simmons was the king of workout VHS market with gems like Sweatin' with the Oldies and the Silver Foxes. I kid you not, these were actually released. And what about the Lion Face exercise? Or the P-Star exercise your body and mind? And okay, I made that last one up, but I had you fooled, didn't I? And hey, the Lion Face exercise one is real. Another awesome part about VHS are the training videos. From Wendy's Grill Skills, to Pizza Hut, to Blockbuster, to even Radio Shack. Yeah, these really date themselves. These are always good for a laugh or two. These were used as training aids for places to show soon-to-be employees how things were done at the business. From daily operations to special situations, these training videos were used to help new employees out at their new job. SpongeBob even parodied this type of format with the Krusty Krab training video episode in Season 2. The best part of these training videos are the songs, which are absolute bangers. I'm not handing you the aux unless you're playing Wendy's Hot Drinks. Give me that juicy slice, baby.
If they want lemon, it's very nice. Don't think twice, give the guests a juicy slice. Hot drinks really get you going. Warms you up when you feel you're slowing. Wendy's, we always serve it right away. And a smile and have a nice day.
Some of your favorite shows may have started as direct-to-VHS shows. We already talked about Jumper. What about a show like VeggieTales? VeggieTales was a Christian direct-to-VHS show that got its start in late 1993, and it quickly became the most popular Christian TV show for children. Other direct-to-VHS shows include the Special Friends trilogy of You on Kazoo, Let's Sing Along, and Ring Along Sing Along. These were packed with a kazoo, microphone, and jingle bells respectively. Oh yeah, Melissa and Doug made these? Yeah, the people responsible for these toys and puppets of your childhood made these. Wise Camper Interaction became Melissa and Doug. These were the memes of the Kazoo Kid. What else? Lion King 1.5 was a direct-to-VHS exclusive. Nice. Yeah, a lot of Disney sequels were direct-to-VHS, along with a lot of obscure local shows, like previously mentioned Jumper. Special Friends brings up something about tapes that I find really interesting. Sometimes the tape isn't enough. You need an extra reason to pick up races, rescues, and runaways, so with it comes a toy. This was popular with the Thomas VHSs, where you'd get a wooden train. The Special Friends tapes came with instruments, and my personal favorite, action figures that came with VHS tapes. Crash Dummies, a 1990s PSA turned action figure line, sold action figures that came with a VHS tape. Other figures like G.I. Joe, Terminator 2, and He-Man all got the action figure with a VHS tape treatment. The Indian in the Cupboard came with a Native American figure, along with many other examples. This is a great way to entice customers to buy your tape. Add a toy associated with the IP, and it can turn two purchases into one for the customer while selling two things for the seller. Sometimes, VHS tapes were used to sell something to you. I'm not talking about using a toy to sell you a VHS, I'm talking about promotional VHS tapes. Nintendo had many promo tapes, spanning from the Super Nintendo days with games like Donkey Kong Country to the early GameCube days with promotional material for games like Wave Race, Blue Storm, and Super Smash Bros. Melee. The Nintendo 64 era was the most prominent time for these promo tapes, with many games like Super Mario 64, Star Fox 64, and the awesome Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask Toys R Us exclusive tape. These were basically long-form advertisements for the games, with game footage and behind-the-scenes shots to give the game a little flair. That's not even including things like the Yoshi's Story CD with the entire OST on it. It wasn't just the video game industry that got these promo tapes, though. I work at an amusement park, and the 1980s roller coaster manufacturer Aerodynamics made some promo tapes for some of their, at the time, state-of-the-art roller coasters like Shockwave at Six Flags Great America, Loch Ness Monster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and personal favorites of mine like Vortex at Kings Island, rest in peace, and Magnum XL200 at Cedar Point. It's unknown as to how one could get their hands on these, but I'm guessing Aero shipped these out to parks to sell their rides, as well as these tapes being given away at trade shows like IAAPA.
Adventure seekers and bold explorers have unearthed an ancient land complete with modern-day thrills. Arrow's Adventure Express at Kings Island. The mystery unfolds for 1,400 riders an hour as they experience a spine-tingling 2.5-minute journey into the unknown on a runaway mine train. Around every corner, there's a startling new thrill as eager explorers ride the rails through steamy volcanic tunnels and across wooden bridges. Careening along at speeds of up to 35 miles an hour, riders rock and roll seemingly out of control before plunging headlong down a deserted mine shaft full of spiders and snakes. For those looking for a new kind of thrill, the daring have discovered Arrow's Adventure Express at Kings Island.
One thing I love to do is sit down and play a board game or card game with people. Games like Coup, Pandemic, Stratomatic Baseball, and Cards Against Humanity are my go-to games that I may have more hours sunken into than some video games. There was a way that VHS tapes were integrated into this medium. Introducing VHS board games. In these games, you would play the board game section, and cards could be used to direct players to certain times on the VHS tape. This would then give different actions to the game. Games that use this include VCR Hockey Night in Canada, one of my personal favorites, VCR Baseball, VCR Clue, Video Board Game Rap Rat.
Busted! Who's go? Who's just about to have a throw? Say, cheese!
Wayne's World, VCR Board Game, and original games like the Nightmare series, Dino Land, and Atmosphere, a horror game that I would really like to play someday. Lastly, let's look at some obscure releases of our favorite shows. SpongeBob got many tapes after Nautical Nonsense and Sponge Buddies released, but the Season 4 special Dunces and Dragons got a VHS release the day after it premiered. Sure, the DVD version released the same day, but I find it really interesting. Family Guy's first season was put on a 2-tape twin set that released in the UK. The previously mentioned Cars was released well into the DVD craze as an online exclusive, a recipe for rarity. And our favorite Step Brothers, Drake and Josh, got 2 tapes, both releasing late into the medium's life in 2005 and 2006 respectively, with 2005 Suddenly Brothers being labeled as Volume 1, even though Volume 2 never released. And there you have it. The wacky world of VHS tapes is a rabbit hole that I enjoy going down every once in a while. Seeing my favorite shows on this dated format is always a blast. Sure, I can pay for an HBO Max subscription, but I can also own The Sopranos on VHS in a box set. They may be big, bulky, black pieces of plastic to some, but I can see VHS for what they meant to millions born before I was. They may not have been as convenient as streaming, but the VHS format brought so much joy to so many people that can't be emulated today. So go to those garage sales and thrift stores, buy that blank VHS tape for $0.25, and put it on and watch what could be something you never thought you needed to see. This has been Dropdasher. This has been the wacky world of obscure VHS tapes. Remember to eat your vegetables. Thank you, and good night.